The best bits of interdisciplinary PhD research was the potential for impact outside of your research study and fostering collaborative relationships that could expand knowledge in general, but also lead to future research projects. My area of research is essentially exploring the teaching practices of medical and allied health professionals teaching medical and radiography students X-ray image interpretation. So all that means is that how do medical and radiography students learn to interpret X-rays and other medical images. My subject is cross-disciplinary because my research participants are from radiology and radiography, so different disciplines to my own. I collaborate with others in terms of making sure that the research is represented as faithfully as possible, and the research is conducted quite ethically, and everything is conducted above board, and that I take into consideration my participants' time and emotions as well. So that needs to be collaborated before the research process, during fieldwork, and even after fieldwork as well.
The title of my research is The Role of Co-Production in Combating Social Isolation and Loneliness in Later Life. It's actually a case study of a project in Leeds called the Time to Shine project. That is a project that's already been set up to address social isolation and loneliness for older people in the Leeds area. I'm particularly looking at the process of co-production, which is about how older people, volunteers, staff members, commissioners, anybody with a vested interest all come together in an equal and reciprocal relationship to look at how the project is run. So it might be about designing the services, it might be commissioning the services, evaluating the services, but making sure that everybody has a role in engaging in that. Well, I work closely obviously with the Time to Shine project, so I go over to the project, I engage with the various groups that they have running, so it might be a walking group, it might be more than a meal group, whatever might be happening. So I really get to know the people who are using the project, which is really beneficial when you start to think about planning the research that you're going to be doing. I also receive supervision from the people, the staff and the managers at Time to Shine project, which is really helpful because it keeps your research rooted, if you like, in the real world. And
for me personally, the two main challenges of conducting interdisciplinary research are both connected to being an outsider. So the first challenge is essentially building the trust of your research participants. And the second challenge is learning the language, appreciating and respecting and representing the knowledge of that is outside your discipline.
Although you're getting a range of experience and knowledge from a range of people, I think it's quite a challenge to balance all of those, because we have an academic perspective and a real world perspective, if you like, and sometimes the two don't quite marry up, but that's okay, that's what contribution to knowledge is all about. And so me in the middle as the PhD student need to balance all of those. I think I also need to ensure that I retain my own voice throughout the research. What do I think? What's my own individual contribution to knowledge, rather than being overtaken by one or other perspective. So that can be challenging at times, but it's all a learning process as part of being a student. But it's a fantastic opportunity, I think it's got to be said. You've got so many benefits to it. Firstly, you know, on the flip side of what I've said of the challenges, you have access to people with such a wide range of knowledge and experience, and you really draw, that's the input you get as a student. It's not just from your academic supervisors, but also from people who are out there doing the job. So that's a fantastic benefit. I think because you've also got that real connection to the real world, you can see the impact, or you can feel the impact that your research can potentially have once it's complete. Sheffield's really well renowned for this kind of research in this area. Departments absolutely great. We've got a wealth of experience that you're able to draw on as a PhD student, and you get so much support right from the beginning for your application, right through your PhD, to ensure that you've got a lot of help to make sure that you complete. 3 years is a long time, and it's a long hard slog as a PhD student, so that input from the department is absolutely invaluable.